Chinese propaganda has failed. Good evening, I'm Kritsween, and we get you details of how the government sources have released an image of army jawans hoisting the tricolour in Galwan Valley. A serving officer, meanwhile, in the Indian Armed Forces has also exposed Congress leader Rahul Gandhi. In a tweet directed at Rahul Gandhi, Lieutenant General Menon has clarified that the Chinese construction is 30 kilometers from LAC, deep inside the Chinese territory. So yes, Chinese propaganda there failing once again as the Tiranga flies high at Galwan. But meanwhile, a serving officer, a senior officer of the Indian Armed Forces, also putting facts on the table, saying that the construction of the bridge that is taking place 30 kilometers inside the Chinese territory. Major General A.K. Sivach is also joining us on the phone line. Good evening to you, General Sivach. Now, we've seen how China has time and again been peddling this false propaganda. Now, those false claims have been busted by these visuals that we are putting out for our viewers, with more than 20 jawans of the Indian Armed Forces hoisting the tricolour at Galwan. We've seen what the Chinese side has been trying to indicate, the misinformation that is trying to peddle, but the truth is for everyone to watch. But sir, as for politicians also going ahead with this kind of a narrative, towing the China line, raising questions, demanding answers from the Prime Minister of the nation, you have Indian Armed Forces officers who are now having to resort and, put facts on the table instead. It's extremely unfortunate.
Absolutely, no doubt. It is extremely unfortunate. You see, the voice of the nation should be only one when you are talking about the security. There should be no politics on that. No, remember that as far as China is concerned, they believe in psychological warfare and false propaganda, and that is a part of it, and we can prey to it. Our political party latch on that, and then this is basically demoralize the people who are serving today on the line of control and a line of actual control. Now, the fact is, whatever Chinese are doing, they are doing well within their territory, almost about 30 to 40 kilometers inside. We are also hosting our tricolour, and we are also showing them that the Galwan area is all ours. So the point is, even this floating bridge which has been made by the Chinese now on Pengangso, which is connecting from north to south bank, is well within their territory, because it is about 135 kilometers in Pengangso, 45 kilometers with us and 90 kilometers with them. But my cause of concern is whatever they have made now, floating bridge, this will enhance their reaction capability, because till now the distance from Dudok was almost 200 kilometers, and it took them about 5 hours. Now, by making this bridge on Pengangso, they have reduced this distance from 200 to 40 kilometers, and now they can come in 1 to 1.5 hours. And so that is a cause of concern that we must be worried. We have already taken precaution. Is not a problem like this, because in our area, moving from north to south Pengangso is not taking too much time. But remember what we did in August 29th, 30th of 2020. We occupied the Kalas range, and it was one offensive maneuver which is one of the best in the world. And we surprised Chinese. And Chinese could not react because they did not have capability of moving their troops too fast. But by doing what they have done now, by constructing this floating bridge, now that their reaction can become faster. That point we have to factor in whenever we have to now operate in that area. But other than that, I can only tell you that the Chinese are good in false propaganda. We should not become prey to that. As far as the nation is concerned, all political parties must stand united with the government of the day, and we should have one voice, because otherwise Chinese make use of it. And all political parties should be matured enough. They must understand any comment passed can demoralize the serving soldier on the line of control or line of actual control.
Absolutely. Thank you, Major General Sivaj, for that perspective. Let me now go across to Major General Rajan Kochar also, who's joining us on this broadcast. Appreciate you speaking to Republic TV, sir. Now, as far as China's expansionist agenda is concerned, it's been trying to push it further. But India has also been giving a befitting response, be it via diplomatic channels and be it otherwise. And these visuals also speak once again of how India is giving it back to China with, hosting its own tricolor. 20 plus Indian Jawans can be seen, sir, on the television screens if you can see these visuals. But as for Chinese agenda is concerned, talk about Taiwan, talk about several such issues. For that matter, Arunachal Pradesh as well. Now, they've been trying to proceed, they're proceeding at a breakneck speed to solidify its claims in that region as well. What do you think the Indian strategy should be at this point in time, sir?
See, basically, why Xi Jinping is doing all this thing is because he has reached a level of frustration because he has to answer to his own people that he has mobilized such a strong force of the PLA, and for the last 2 years they have not been able to achieve anything. So whatever the propaganda we are seeing today about this flag and renaming of 15 places in Arunachal, it is all a part of a strategy for his own people. So we Indians should not react to any such propaganda, especially as rightly brought out by General Sivaj, that the political parties, they should stand united with the government of the day. Now, coming to your question, what should be our strategy? Our strategy has always been that we, regardless of what China is doing, the Indian Army is strengthening itself on the LAC. Our border infrastructure is going on unabated. There is no let up in that. The road construction, the Zojila Pass connectivity, everything is going as per schedule. So the first strategy is that we should not be perturbed by what Chinese propaganda does. We should continue to strengthen ourselves. So the second aspect is our relationship with the United States and with the Quad. That is also a part of the overall strategy to put the pressure on China that we are there knocking on the South China Sea, because that is the vulnerability of the Chinese. They, if they are not able to dominate the South China Sea, it will become a problem for them. The third part of our strategy, I feel, is highlighting the Tibet issue. We have not been able to do this so far. It has to be done in a very concerted manner in order to put the pressure on the Chinese, because they are extremely sensitive to Aksaichin and Tibet. And that is why they are trying to interfere in Arunachal Pradesh. So that strategy has to be launched at the diplomatic level and the political level. And the last part of our strategy is that we had initially banned more than 100 Chinese apps, but we continue to trade with them. So it may not be possible to shut the trade all of a sudden, but we must start working on that, on a Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. All these plans of ours have to be put on a war footing. They should not be allowed to stagger the way some of the issues are actually going on right now. The government should give impetus to getting manufacturing processes started within the country, and especially the pharmaceutical sector, in which we are very heavily dependent on China. So this is a four-pronged strategy, I feel, should be there to handle the present situation.
Yes. Absolutely. For now, General Kochar, our forces are standing strong in guarding our borders to their full potential and certainly not giving any chance to the Chinese side to really come in. And that's what we've seen the past few months. Thank you for the moment for sharing that in-depth perspective with us. Thank you, General Kochar.